Have you ever wondered how the Russian-Ukrainian war has shaped the world's geopolitical landscape? This conflict, brimming with historical battles and complex political maneuvers, has far-reaching consequences. It has altered international relations, disrupted the global economy, and challenged the precepts of peacekeeping efforts. The war's repercussions are felt from the battlefields of Ukraine to the bustling streets of London, influencing everything from soccer matches to stock markets. It's a story that unfolds on military maps, in the brave hearts of soldiers, and in the resilience of nations. In order to fully comprehend the global impact, it is essential to understand the chronological events of the war. The roots of the Russian-Ukrainian war can be traced back to the year 2014. It all began with the annexation of Crimea, a move that sent shockwaves across the globe and marked the onset of a tense standoff between Russia and Ukraine. Not long after, unrest began to brew in eastern Ukraine, a region known for its significant Russian-speaking population. This unrest soon escalated into full-blown conflict, with both sides locked in a bitter struggle for control. Key players in this conflict included the Russian Federation, led by President Vladimir Putin, and Ukraine, under the leadership of various presidents over the years. Each played a pivotal role, with Russia accused of fueling the unrest and Ukraine striving to maintain its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The conflict wasn't just confined to these two nations, though. It drew in the international community, with countries around the world taking sides and imposing sanctions. This was the beginning of a conflict that would reshape the geopolitical sphere. As the conflict escalated, the world watched in anticipation and concern. It was a decade-long journey from 2014 to 2024, a period marked by significant events that shaped the course of the Russian-Ukrainian war. Much like a chessboard, territories changed hands, with each side making strategic moves to gain an upper hand. It was a time of territorial gains and losses. Ukraine, despite the odds, managed to reclaim significant portions of its land, but these victories came at a high price. The casualty count rose steadily, a grim reminder of the cost of war. On the other side, Russia, with its powerful military, sought to consolidate its hold on contested regions, resulting in a tug-of-war that lasted for years. The war was not contained within the borders of these two nations. International stakeholders played key roles, their actions influencing the direction of the conflict. Some provided diplomatic support and humanitarian aid, while others supplied military hardware, fueling the intensity of the battles. The strategies and tactics used by both sides evolved over the years. From conventional warfare to guerrilla tactics, each side adapted to the changing dynamics of the conflict. The Ukrainian forces, inspired by their resilience and hope, stood their ground against a much larger adversary, turning the tide in several battles. Meanwhile, the Russians, relying on their vast military resources, launched a series of offensives aimed at weakening Ukraine's resolve. As we look back at this decade-long conflict, it's clear that the war has been a series of ebbs and flows. There were moments of hope, interspersed with periods of despair. Yet, despite the rollercoaster of emotions, one fact remains: neither side has been able to secure a decisive victory. The war has been marked by a series of ebbs and flows, with neither side able to secure a decisive victory. Fast forward to 2024, and the conflict remains unresolved. The war between Russia and Ukraine, a struggle that has tested the mettle of nations, continues to rage on. Recent developments have seen numerous battles, each one etching a new scar on the face of history. The Ukrainian troops, inspired by their homeland's resilience, have managed to claw back significant territories. Yet, the Russian forces remain a formidable adversary, proving that the road to peace is steep and treacherous. Ongoing negotiations have become a complex dance of diplomacy, with each side attempting to navigate the treacherous waters of compromise. While the talks continue, the impact on the civilian population is impossible to ignore. Every day, ordinary people are caught in the crossfire, their lives upended by a conflict beyond their control. International organizations strive to alleviate the suffering, providing aid and support to those displaced by the conflict. Yet, their efforts are akin to applying a bandage to a gaping wound. Peacekeeping forces have been deployed, their mission to prevent further escalation and protect civilians. But despite their best efforts, the violence continues, a grim reminder of the harsh realities of war. The plight of the Ukrainian soccer team, thousands of miles away from the war, is a microcosm of the broader conflict. Their struggle to perform amidst the turmoil mirrors the resilience and determination of their countrymen back home. The war has become more than a battle for territory. It's a test of the human spirit, a testament to the power of hope and unity in the face of adversity. The Russian-Ukrainian war continues to be a challenge for the global community, with an end seemingly elusive. As the world watches, the question remains: how much longer will the conflict continue, and at what cost? The answers, it seems, are as elusive as the prospect of peace itself. The ripple effects of the Russian-Ukrainian war have been felt far beyond the borders of the two countries. This conflict has sent shockwaves through the global economy. Natural gas prices have surged, leading to a ripple effect on economic growth. Europe in particular faces the specter of a recession, with central banks wrestling with inflation and volatile stock markets. But the economic impact is just one facet of this multidimensional crisis. The war has also strained international relations, testing alliances and diplomatic ties. Former President Trump's praise of Putin amidst the conflict sparked controversy and raised questions about democracy's future strength. This war has also triggered a sizable shift in migration patterns, with thousands of Ukrainians displaced and seeking refuge in neighboring countries. As we contemplate the potential future implications if this conflict continues, we must consider the human cost. As we navigate this complex geopolitical landscape, the resolution of the Russian-Ukrainian war remains a key piece of the puzzle.